today นะครับ Welcome to Sunny Monday นะครับ Okay so today we are going to start talking about Power BI นะครับ after I just ask you to prepare all of the computers to be ready for the Power BI นะครับ or the Power BI desktop. Today we are going to start talking about the Power BI in details นะครับ so that we can just use it as the visualization tools for our data นะครับ okay so if you are ready นะครับ please start your Power BI now and then we are going to just talk about Microsoft Power BI นะครับ actually in the past Microsoft companies just use the visualization tools in Microsoft Excel นะครับ and in the past I thought that just the Microsoft Excel it should be enough for the data visualization but when the time goes by more and more data นะครับ Microsoft Excel is not enough anymore because you can see that right now you may have heard um, the the discipline นะครับ that we call it as data analysis. That is the way that we analyze the data. But apart from just analyze the data in terms of numbers, sorry นะครับ I don't know what's going on with this one. Okay, if there is something wrong, please let me know immediately นะครับ Thank you very much. Okay, so I talk about the Power BI and I told you that because Microsoft found that there are more people who would like to use the software for visualizing their data because right now just Microsoft Excel only is not enough in order to visualize the data. For example, when we learn for the data visualization tools in Excel like data bars or we have icon sets, it might not enough. But if Microsoft try to add some visualization tools more in Excel, it will be overloaded the regular users for Excel. That's why Microsoft tries to just launch a new software that is dedicatedly designed for data visualization นะครับ so that's why they launched software called Power BI. For anyone who don't want to use data visualization tools much, they may not use this software, then they just use Excel and it's enough for them. But for anyone who have to just do heavily so the data visualization นะครับ they download Microsoft Power BI and then use it. So for Microsoft Power BI นะครับ actually Power BI stand for Power Business Intelligence นะครับ because when we have to analyze the insight of the data นะครับ we need to use some other tools that are specially designed for data visualization นะครับ so that's why the Microsoft Power BI is one tool that can help us in order to just do the visualization. Apart from that one, actually when Microsoft launched Power BI in around year 2014 2015 they launched series of the software นะครับ the one that we are going to use นะครับ in this term is called Microsoft. Okay, so then Microsoft just launch Microsoft Power BI in series of the software. If we have to just use our laptop or desktop computer in order to just analyze and visualize the data, normally we use the Microsoft Power BI desktop นะครับ so then we can just analyze and then we can just see our data visually นะครับ apart from that one, if you are in the meeting room, you may just want to use another software that is a Power BI as well. But that's a Power BI that you can use the mobile or you can use just tablet นะครับ in order to see the visualization only. That means it cannot be used in order to analyze the data much. But I mean normally we use the data we use Power BI desktop to analyze the data first นะครับ and then we send the visualization on tablet or iPad instead นะครับ Apart from that one we can have like the Microsoft Power BI that is on the server as well so that we can just like collaboratively analyze the data with the team and then just like show the result and share the result together นะครับ so but I mean in this class we just like focusing in analyzing and visualizing the data personally so that's why we use Microsoft Power BI desktop okay now everyone just like start your Microsoft Power BI desktop and then we just like see how Microsoft Power BI works and what are the components in Microsoft Power BI นะครับ let me just share my screen first okay so this one นะครับ Microsoft Power BI desktop just have a look so Microsoft Power BI need to have just like a bit processing power นะครับ so that's why Microsoft BI Power BI just like if you have the computer with now let's have a look นะครับ so this is Power BI desktop you can see that if your computer นะครับ is just like quite old version of the computer it might be just a bit slow but it works anyway นะครับ Power BI but anyway if you have the computer which has like the SSD hard drive นะครับ or solid state hard drive that is like a bit quicker นะครับ once you start Power BI desktop นะครับ so that means when you have to do anything with Power BI try to just like save it as frequent as you can because if you have to just like close the Power BI and restart it once again นะครับ if you don't save it it takes quite a long time in order to just like handle with it นะครับ so this is the start the beginning the initial screen of Microsoft Power BI นะครับ you can see that in here for the Microsoft Power BI, it starts with the yellow screen here นะครับ this is the start screen or initial screen of Microsoft Power BI so you can also use like your what to say the MU account นะครับ or the ไม่โดน email address in order to sign in นะครับ for the Power BI and sign up for Power BI desktop as well นะครับ so it will not ask you many times to just log in นะครับ okay so let's have a look for Microsoft Power BI desktop here the main the initial screen here it start with get data and recent sources นะครับ so get data here means that if you just like want to import the data นะครับ we don't call it as import we call it as get the data we get the data from Excel data file or some other places we just click on here นะครับ bear in mind that normally we don't create นะครับ we don't create the data in Power BI directly นะครับ the things that we always have to do is that you have to just like import it from Excel that means once you have the data you start from Excel first นะครับ then you just like handle all the Excel clean the data and do as what you want นะครับ on Excel นะครับ for example you may shuffle the column if you want you may sort them first นะครับ in Excel นะครับ before you get in Power BI because normally Power BI is heavily focused in data visualization นะครับ for the manipulating of the data Excel seems to be better นะครับ and sometimes we get the files or we get the data that is not from Excel for example it might be a text file นะครับ or CSV นะครับ CSV stand for comma separated value let me just like write it down for you นะครับ just won't be long okay so this one นะครับ CSV นะครับ or comma สอนหนังสืออยู่ comma separated value นะครับ or CSV file นะครับ so this one นะครับ is a spatially the spatial format of the file that when you have the data it's separated with comma นะครับ something like this I'll show you later on when we have to get the data นะครับ okay so when we have to just like get the data in different formats apart from this one even the data from the website นะครับ we can also get the data from a specific website as well. For example, if there are some websites that just like talking about or just like showing the data of like stock exchange, or it shows the data about just like the price of the crude oil, something like that, or the ranking of just like the movies, นะครับ or the revenue of the movie of um, I mean, during each quarter, something like that. You can also get the data into Power BI easily as well. That I'll just like talk about it later. นะครับ so okay, today I'll just like talk about the components of the um, I'll talk about the components of Microsoft Power BI first, so that you know how do we're gonna just like view or manage the data in Microsoft Power BI นะครับ okay now just have a look นะครับ before we get the data here นะครับ we cancel first นะครับ we cancel first so that we'll see the main screen of Microsoft Power BI นะครับ so just have a look นะครับ on the main screen of Power BI what are they what are the components in Microsoft Power BI so on the top part of Microsoft Power BI screen นะครับ the Microsoft Power BI desktop screen here this is the ribbon as we have in Microsoft Excel and other Microsoft Office software. We have the ribbon here. In this ribbon, we have like various menu. We have Home, Insert, Modeling, View, and Help. นะครับ so so these are like the tools for Microsoft Power BI that we can use in here. นะครับ so in here นะครับ you can see that for the home นะครับ this is just like the frequently used functions in Power BI นะครับ so in here you can see that we have clipboard for cut copy and paste นะครับ we have data handling here like we get the data from different sources นะครับ from we get data from like other formats of the files somewhere else we can get the data from Excel นะครับ SQL Server Power BI dataset and so on นะครับ queries here นะครับ in if you read in some website or some handbook about Power BI for the queries นะครับ or sometimes we call it as Power Queries they are the same thing what are queries or what are Power Queries Queries or Power Queries are the tools in Power BI in order to manage and handle the data that we want. For example, we may want to use the data cleaning or data cleansing นะครับ we clean the data นะครับ before we just like actually use it นะครับ so what does it mean by cleaning or cleansing นะครับ in some textbook they may call it as cleansing นะครับ it's the same thing cleansing and cleaning so for cleansing and cleaning of the data in Power BI, it means that, okay, if you want to cut, for example, remove some records, นะครับ add some column, eliminate some column, clear blank rows or records นะครับ and so on these are like the example of cleansing the data in Power BI we normally use Power Queries or queries in Power BI to manage it นะครับ okay what else นะครับ apart from queries นะครับ the queries here okay when we have to just like clean the data นะครับ or just manage the data we call it as transform the data นะครับ or transform data here so the next one new visual text box and more visuals in here นะครับ for new visual and text box here what are they for Visual means that okay the graph or the chart นะครับ or the infographics that you use Power BI we call it as visual นะครับ when you click new visual it means that you want to create the new graph or new chart you can see that once I click new visual it just pop up the chart like box in here นะครับ and then we just like add the columns and filter out the data that you want to have นะครับ okay so if you don't want this visual นะครับ you just click on the three dots and choose remove then it just clear out that visual out นะครับ okay so I'll talk about in detail next on นะครับ and the next one is the calculation calculation here means that whenever you would like to just calculate by adding or calculating some values นะครับ Power BI can help you as well นะครับ so normally if we have just like some specific value for example if you want to find some average mean max standard deviation we will use new measure in order to control it นะครับ in order to create it นะครับ and quick measure is just like the frequently used measure that we normally have นะครับ we can just like click and then just let Power BI to help creating it while the publish in this class we don't use it normally publish here means that you publish it to like others Power BI software นะครับ for example the one that I told you that if we have to use it in the meeting room and then we would like the executive to see some charts only then we just share it to their Power BI mobile นะครับ okay that is published okay but this one normally we just use in this Power BI programs only and when you want other people to get this visualization you just like send this file to other people นะครับ once they open up your Power BI file นะครับ it will just like they will see as if you see it นะครับ okay this is the first menu home นะครับ for the insert menu นะครับ we can just like see the similar things that we had นะครับ we can just like in this class we just like use the visuals นะครับ we just use visual and we have some elements more just that นะครับ modeling here means that you have to just like see the relationship among data that we have นะครับ because when we have the data Power BI will just like try to just help you in order to just like set up the relationship among like different pieces of data that we have นะครับ and you can add some parameter as well นะครับ we'll talk about it next on นะครับ and view is just like to view the data differently นะครับ okay after we talk about the Microsoft Power BI for the ribbons that Power BI have already นะครับ the next one that I'm going to talk about is the Power BI on the left hand side you can see that we have different tabs for the Power BI นะครับ the top left นะครับ tab is what we call report tab นะครับ report tab what is report tab is this page once you have any graph any charts or even we have like the dashboard we can create in the report นะครับ of Power BI นะครับ this is what we call Power BI report if one page is not enough for you to have the report นะครับ you can also just click on the yellow plus sign here นะครับ to create page 2 page 3 page 4 as you want นะครับ this one is different from Excel because in Excel you can see that each page it's the sheet that consists of the data นะครับ while Power BI report here each page means like the report or the chart that you would like to display นะครับ for example page 1 you may say that you would like to show the revenue นะครับ the chart to display the revenue of the company นะครับ monthly while page 2 you may say that you want to show the revenue per each sales representative while page 3 might be the revenue by product type something like that so depends on you นะครับ how would you like to display but anyway just a little thing that I want to tell you is that the area that you can display นะครับ the area that you can display the chart นะครับ or visualization is this area only in one page we can't scroll down นะครับ we can't scroll down you can display up to just like the dash line only the dash line only นะครับ okay so this is the area that you can just like use one page to display if it's not enough นะครับ if the space is not enough you just create a new page นะครับ and then just create the visualization on the next page instead okay so this is the report in Microsoft Power BI นะครับ the area that we can see the report next before we move on to the next one in the report here นะครับ the report view here you see just like three set of toolbars filters visualizations and field นะครับ what are they filters means that if you would like to filter that if you would like to filter that chart นะครับ by just like whatever value you can just like use the filter here you may drag the fields or the column that you want to use for filtering in here and then just like specify the value of criteria in here นะครับ I'll show you next on next is visualization visualization here means that what kind of chart would you like to display there are lots of charts that you can have นะครับ apart from the basic charts that we use in Microsoft Excel นะครับ there are like some other new kind of charts that you may be able to use in Power BI as well that are like the chart that is specifically designed for the geographic area นะครับ for example นะครับ you can just like have the map in order to show the chart as well นะครับ and how does Power BI know actually if your data นะครับ for example in each record or in each row of data you have the country นะครับ you have just like the name of the city นะครับ or zip code specify once you just like use the chart that is about the map นะครับ like field map นะครับ or map Power BI will just like try to just like use the GPS to locate that okay for the zip code that you specify where does it mean and then it just show on the chart for you the chart normally it might be in the globe the map okay and then it just show the chart by having just like some field area or some point or some dot for you on that map นะครับ that are just like some gimmicks for Microsoft Power BI that they can just like use data visualization in terms of map to help you นะครับ okay this is visualization and the last one fields are like group of like fields that you are using right now for example suppose you say that okay you would like to show the chart for the revenue by each sales representative the field that you may have is that you may have like sales amount you may have like sales representative ID sales representative name something like that so you can just like choose from these fields what fields or what column would you like to just like display in this chart okay so we'll talk about them again when we just like start doing the visualization so right now let's have a look on the next tab that Power BI has apart from report นะครับ the next one is what we call data นะครับ what is data so everyone just click on the data icon once you click data icon here now you can see just like it's the dark gray color this one actually when you just like get the data already this screen will not be the dark gray color anymore it will be just like the table consists of the data inside นะครับ and if you have like many tables or many worksheets that you import or you get นะครับ on the right hand side it shows just like different sheets that we have นะครับ and the last one นะครับ you can see that in here the last one we call it as model นะครับ the last button is model what is model here means that when you have many worksheets นะครับ that you get into Power BI in the same file it will try to just like link and relate those data together automatically นะครับ how does Power BI know normally they check from the name นะครับ of the field or the name of the column if they are similar นะครับ for example if you have Okay, let's just like talk about the same name first. If you have two worksheets and those worksheets have the column name student ID student ID. So Power BI will check for the values for those worksheets whether student ID and student ID are the same thing or not. If they are the same, Power BI will try to just like match them together in the model here that I'll show you later on So what is the model used for? When Power BI relate the data together for you, they will just like try to help you whenever you do the visualization. For example, if you would like to have the column from different worksheets they try to link them together for you That's the reason why the model is important in here Okay. Okay, so now we have just like the tools for Power BI the tools for Power BI already. So the next thing that I just like want you to try on is that I'll let you just like get the data. Okay, let me just like check the data for you first in e-learning. Just won't be long. Okay, so okay, please go to your e-learning Let's have a look on this one. This is our e-learning We just go there and then we just scroll down to the Power BI part Scroll down to Power BI part. Okay, let me just hide this one first. So you will see the the data that I just excuse me that I just put on the Power BI for you. Let me just hide the exercise first. Okay, just have a look In this one, you will see the Power BI part or section in here. And then you will see the part that I said that, okay, it's sales order Excel file sales order Excel file. So just download this file just download sales order Excel file. Okay, so once you download already let's open it with Excel first let's open it with Excel first so that you see what's inside So try not to get any data into Power BI directly if it is the Excel. Try to open and check it first whenever you receive the file In the reality, you have to do the same thing Don't just like get into Power BI straight away because sometimes there are some parts or some data that you just like have to clean it first before you use Power BI Okay, I'll use Excel to open it up. Okay, and I enable it first. Okay. So in here, I go to A1 to see. Okay. This is the data. You can see that our data in Microsoft Excel file that we have right now. We have many worksheets altogether, 7 worksheets altogether. Orders, order detail, customers, product, category, suppliers, and employees. Some of the worksheets has like some unnecessary data. Some of the worksheets we may have just like some rows or some records that might not be usable. Okay, if you have to manage the data here, we can use Microsoft Power BI to manage it for you. If you have the data like this and you get the data into Microsoft Power BI, or you may just like manage it in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so in this one, we are going to get this workbook or this file into our Microsoft Power BI and see how Power BI can help us and how the data looks like. Okay, so when you see this data already, okay, we go back to our Power BI. Here. We are going to get the data. So in this one, we just go to the report view first. Then we go to home. We go to home. And then you see get data. You see get data in here. You choose Excel. It's the same. Either you click Excel here or you just click get data and Excel. It's the same. You just click Excel. So in here, I just like go to download this one. Okay, this one. Then I click to open this file. This is an Excel file that I just recently downloaded from e-learning. So it just take a while because it's just like analyzing our data that we have. So right now, Power BI will analyze the data, and it found that in here, your worksheet, your workbook ABC sales for Power BI has 7. 7 here means 7 worksheets or 7 tables. In Power BI, they call it as tables. They don't call it as worksheet. They call it as tables. Okay, so what are we going to do? In this one, you can see that there are check boxes in front. It means that if you check, we will use this. We will use that data. But if you don't check, that means that table will not be getting into Power BI. So in this one, we use all of them. We use, hang on, let me see. Let's see, suppose I just choose categories and customers. Hang on. Categories, no, sorry. I choose order first, order. Okay, I want order and orders detail. I want these 2 worksheet first or 2 table first. Don't get other tables yet. Just choose orders and orders detail. For other tables, we just like get them later. So we have like 2 options to do. Load or transform the data. So what are they? Load means that you just like load this data into Power BI straight away. While transform data means that you want to just like check and then just like clean and transform the data first before we load into our Power BI. Okay, so at the same time, while you just like click on these tables or these worksheets, it shows the preview of the data for you. So let me just like show you a bit. In this one, if you click on orders table or orders worksheet, you can see that the first row, instead of having just like the proper headings, it shows sales order ABC company column 2 column 3 column 4 that might be wrong then you have to just manage them นะครับ while orders detail นะครับ while order detail the first row is the heading that's correct order ID product ID unit price quantity and discount what's wrong with order table if you go back to the Excel you can see that because the first row here นะครับ it is just like the name of this worksheet so that's why it's wrong นะครับ it's just like Power BI thought that you want this one as the heading but that's wrong so you have two different ways the first one you delete this one from Excel first นะครับ before you get into Power BI or the second one you can use Power BI to manage it นะครับ depends on what you want but I mean if it is in the exam I will tell you that you have to just like manage everything in Power BI นะครับ so you have to do step by step okay in this one if you don't know anything and you accidentally click load what will happen all the data will be loaded as you see in this page in the preview like for the orders table the first row will be just like the wrong headings like this you can use Power BI to manage it later on นะครับ okay let me just load it first okay and see what happened so everyone just click load นะครับ so right now Power BI will just like analyze and try to load the data into Power BI program นะครับ okay so this one you might say that I see nothing นะครับ it's just a blank page so actually this one is not the blank page นะครับ Power BI load the data already but the view that we are having a look right now this is the report ครับ and we haven't created any chart yet so that's why it just like looks like a blank page here but if you want to see your data you have to click on the data icon นะครับ so once you click the data icon then you see the data in here ครับ and you can see that because we download or we get two of the worksheets that's why it shows like two worksheets or two tables on the right hand side orders and orders detail so where do these tables name from นะครับ these table name are from the worksheet name in your Excel นะครับ it will just like name according to your worksheet name นะครับ orders and orders detail that we get them and you can see that right now if I click on orders table this one the headings are wrong นะครับ because sales order company column 2 column 3 actually they are not the one that we want นะครับ they are not the one that we want while orders detail this is correct already นะครับ so what are we going to manage this นะครับ the things that we have to do is that we have to just like manage the orders worksheet นะครับ or the orders table to have the proper headings นะครับ what are we going to do in order to manage this data properly นะครับ we just go to home นะครับ we just go to home and then you see transform data right you see transform data in here the things that we have to do is that you just click transform data นะครับ it just pop up the Power Query editor for us Power Query editor for us this is the page that we use to manage our data to clean our data as we want นะครับ so you can see that right now they have like two tables on the left hand side orders and orders detail นะครับ the wrong one is orders นะครับ while the correct one is orders detail what are we going to do so before we can just like clean the data you have to understand the Power Query editor first and the nature of the Power Query the Power Query นะครับ can be done or can be processed by using the tools that we call Power Query editor or this screen นะครับ this screen Power Query editor the Power Query editor here นะครับ when we have it you have to understand that what does it mean by each button or each component นะครับ so firstly นะครับ in the Power Query Editor นะครับ the list of the table will be on the left hand side instead นะครับ while the right hand side นะครับ while on the right hand side it shows the processing step นะครับ processing step what does it mean by processing step processing step means that okay the step that you do with this data for example if you change data type it shows as a step that you do if you just like remove some headings it shows another step that you remove the heading something like that so that it just shows step from top to bottom like this and if you say that hey that step is wrong you can you can delete that step outนะครับ that are the steps processing step of Power BI and when you finish doing everything with this data already the next thing that you have to do is that you have to applyนะครับ you have to apply your action you have to apply your action you can see that in here it has close and apply means that if you just like if you're satisfied with what you do already just click close and apply but if you do many steps and you think that no I'm not okay with it you can close this Power Query Editor without saving it so the things that you did will not be committed or will not be just like done with your real data นะครับ okay so this one นะครับ okay because we haven't done anything yet you have to just like understand the components in the Power Query Editor first the first one นะครับ just see in each column นะครับ column or field they are the same thing นะครับ in when I just like talk about it in Power BI column นะครับ and fields they are the same นะครับ and worksheets is the same as table นะครับ okay. right okay now let's see each field first นะครับ if I click on orders detail table นะครับ you can see that there are 5 fields or 5 columns here นะครับ and then you will see this one there are symbols in front of the column name นะครับ these symbols tell us about data type นะครับ tell us about the data type of that column for example นะครับ for example if it is 1 2 3 like this means integer once you see 1.2 in here it means the real number นะครับ okay so that means it has a decimal point นะครับ they also have like other data type as well นะครับ if you want to change data type นะครับ if you want to change data type it's different from Excel because in Excel you just highlight the cells that you want to change data type and right click right but in this one in Power BI if you want to change the data type you have to change the data type of that column นะครับ you can't change just like some values only for example if you say that okay unit price sorry quantity you don't want it to be the integer but you want it to be real number what are we going to do in order to change the data type นะครับ you just click on the data type of that column and then you can just choose what data type that you want to have นะครับ in here suppose I say that I want it to be what to say the whole number okay I just change it so you can see that it just changed from the it will just change from the data type that you want to have นะครับ to be decimal something like that it will replace the it just like tell you what are we going to do replace current or add new step or cancel my suggestion is that you better click the add new step so that the processing step here will be displayed because if there's anything wrong, you can undo it straight away. If I click add new step, you can see that it said change type 1. It changed type 1. So, and the type is changed to be the real number already. But if you said, no, I did it wrongly, you can go to change type 1 here, and you see cross symbol here. Click cross symbol. Then you just go back to be the integer number straight away. So this is the step that we can do, and we can undo as we want. Okay. After we have the data type already, what is the next thing? The next thing here, we have like many menus in the Power Query editor that you can just like use them. In here, normally the menu that we start, we in the home tab here, we have choose column, remove column. This is what we may use it. For example, if you say that in our data here, I don't want to know the discounts, you may just choose discount and then choose remove column. Then it's removed already. The column that talk about the discount is gone. And you can see that it shows apply step here. If you haven't closed and apply, you can just like bring it back straight away. If I click to remove column out, then the discount comes back. Okay. Next, you can also keep rows and remove rows that you want as well. In case that you have some rows or some records that you don't want it, you can just choose remove rows as well here. Then we have sort. You can sort the data as you like. Split column. Split column means that, okay, if you have like some columns that is quite long, because original data may have just like very long data. For example, if it's the full address of your customer and you would like to just like show just like the country or the zip code only, you may just like have to use split column. And then you can transform like data type as well. So these are the things that we basically use in here. So, and apart from that one, we can also add some more column as you like as well. We can add some more column that I'll just like talk about it later when we reach the part. But most of the time, in this class, we just like use home menu for the Power Query editor normally.